Growing up, there was there was just a lot of bad things going on. There was like a lot of moving parts, a lot of arguing, and that's something like just shaped my view of how the world was. Because I grew up and that's just what I knew. I just knew going home after school, I didn't really know who was gonna be there. I didn't know like how serious things were gonna get like every night. I just had no idea. I would go home from school and I would feel like afraid most of the time. It was not a place I wanted to be, not a place, like home never felt like that. Home never felt like home. And honestly, that's why like this place has meant so much to me. Plenty of people will call Willow home, but like for me, it's like really like this is home. Like this is what it is. Growing up, my faith was like not a huge part of my life. And the biggest part of that, the reason for that was I've never met my dad. And that like really framed my vision of God. Because when I would go to church, I would hear about this perfect father we had and how he loves us and we're his children. I've never experienced a dad like that. There was a few men who tried to be like my dad. There's just a lot of men who could never fill that role in my heart. I remember when I first came into Elevate, I remember hearing about this Collide camp and being like, first, I'm like kind of nervous about it if I go, because I've never really been away from like my family that long, as well as I just thought it was really weird that anyone would want to go to church for a whole weekend. I was like, oh, gosh, that doesn't sound like my scene. But at one point I was just like, yeah, we're just gonna do it. We're just gonna send it, and hopefully it's a good time. We'll see. I remember getting there, like first Collide, and I was like super nervous and just like not that excited. And I was like, I'm probably just gonna stick to myself this weekend. But that whole weekend, I had experienced something like I'd never really experienced before in my life, and that was community outside of like my family. I remember distinctly at Collide and hearing Scott give that message and me being like, man, this is what it is. This is what it's all about, man. Even though I didn't, like my faith still wasn't even a huge part of my life. Thinking about it made it real for the first time. And that's what Collide did for me. That Collide was like, stick in the ground. This is for me. Like this life, following Jesus, this is what I want. Because I didn't have a dad growing up, my love for Jesus as my father, my love for God as my father is so much bigger than just I have a faith. My father is someone who is bigger and is more stronger than anyone like this world ever could have given me. I don't know where I would be without like that camp. It's just pretty crazy looking back on it, like how much one camp has changed everything. As I was finishing middle school and going into high school, and I was hearing about this camp called Sandblast, and I was hearing about Student Impact, there's no way that this high school ministry was going to be as good as my last 3 years was. Because Elevate was the coolest thing I'd ever been a part of. There's no way that Impact could possibly be a school. When I first got to Sandblast and I was with my house group, with Bartlett, it didn't feel like I was a freshman and there was a bunch of seniors. It felt like we were all just like family. That's what really had a huge impact on me, is when I got there and seniors made a choice to be my friend, thinking that like I have the capability of being what those seniors were for me. It makes it all worth it, for sure. From being a student in Elevate, and to being a student in Impact, and now being a leader in Elevate as well, it's been a good journey. It's been a fun ride for sure. This Collide will be my 19th camp with Willow in student ministry, between going and leading. Never missed one. And you gotta do it once, and I promise you it'll be worth it. I don't know where I'd be without that first camp, and I would just say, just try it, just go. Just try it, man. You gotta do it once. And if you like it, there you go. But yeah, you gotta go once.